Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Ba'ashem B'Krakadash. This is your brother Dawad coming to you with another lesson. And my title of this lesson, You Don't Know the Most High. Great destruction is coming to this land. Get this precept right here first. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 12. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Most High have made even both of them. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. So, trying to feed the flock with this bread, get them understanding. But once again, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Most High made both of them, right? If you got eyes to see and you got ears to hear, then you're going to receive this lesson. Let's go to the book of Matthew, because people don't know the Most High, man. The Most High is coming to do a lot of killing, man. Book of Matthew, chapter 24. Let's start at verse 36. But of that day and hour know of no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the Son of Man be. Right? Shalakia. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? You know, in the days of Noah, people just living by, going on with their life like nothing was going to happen. But Noah was telling them, hey man, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. He was doing this for a period of over 100 years, right? For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, right? Just like today, man. People going by, doing their daily tasks, not giving one care what's going on, not seeing how the Most High is sending out these storms on the earth, how he's giving extreme heat to the West Coast right now, how he's flooding out the Midwest, how he's flooding out the South. You know, we just had extreme heat down here in Alabama. But no one is giving heed. No one is looking at the signs. Why? Because the Most High has not given them eyes to see or ears to hear, right? Verse 39. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be, right? It's going to be the same way. People are going to just be living their life, and he's going to come as what? A thief in the night, right? It says, then shall two be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding in the mill. The one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doeth come. That's what we doing. The Most High done set up watchmen for the children of Israel to let you know what time you're in, so you can what? Do right and get yourself in order. Order your house all right? Because the Most High have always set up watchmen. A watchman watches out for what? When the enemy is going to attack, right? So the Most High done set up watchmen in these last days to give you warning, whether you want to hear or whether you want to forbear. But just like we read in Proverbs, that the Most High give you a seeing eye and a hearing ear, right? It says, verse 43, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and wouldn't have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye ready also. Salaki. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour ye think not the Son of Man cometh, so then is a faithful and wise servant. Shalakia. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord have made ruler over his household, to give him meat in due season, right? The Most High that made us watchmen. We just a placeholder. We just sit here for a time period until he come back. And he's going to be diligent to reward those who actually done as he asked, right? Verse 46. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing, right? Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods, right? That's what we're trying to be, joint heirs with Christ, right? Let me get this. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, right? We're joint heirs with Hamashiach, right? You know what I'm saying? That spiritual power, man, that walking on water, understand it, man. These are things that Yahweh was given by Yahweh. And we're gonna have that unbelievable spiritual power, man, Lord willing. So let's get more on, the return. Because people think that he's not going to come to destroy this place, man, but he is, man. It's just like the days of Noah, right? See if this is what I want. Right. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and that it moved all the waves thereof. Now, keep in mind, we read in Genesis, how Yahweh Shai separated the water from the waters, and there's waters above the firmament, right? Above the firmament, right? And behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Right? You read in Revelations 1, I believe 1 and 7 is that when he come back, when Yahweh shall come back, all nations are going to wail because of him, right? You read that in Matthew also, right? It says verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire, right? And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. That fathership, right? Those IFOs, right? And I would have seen the region or place whereabout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. And yet there's fight. They ain't gonna be shaking in their boots, man. The scripture say the mighty man is gonna wail in that day, right? Matter of fact, let's get that right quick. And we'll hop back to 2nd Ezra. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 and verse 14. The great day of the Most High is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Most High. And the mighty men shall cry bitterly, shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds. If you understand the scriptures, man, you understand that clouds are those vehicles, man, that Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai is coming back to destroy this place, right? To execute vengeance. And thick darkness, a day of the trumpet, an alarm against the fenced cities, against the high towers, right? Let's jump back to 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held shield, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as if it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks of tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight. Now he was zapping their ass, right? And burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, right? When Ezra saw this, he was afraid, man. Can you imagine seeing this vision that the Most High is giving you in a dream? He was describing it the best way he could. But man, that's a lot of killing, man. And you don't understand when Yahweh Shai come back, he's going to kill a lot of people. And that's going to be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Shai. I give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who I'm learning this truth from. And the Most High that led me to these brothers. Now, I know it's been a lot of hearsay about so-called rape doctrine, but it's not a doctrine. It's just a law that the Most High set in place for you to understand how to handle that situation. Now, if you got ears to hear and eyes to see, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Shai. Till the next time I say, Shalom.